Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to TT Masters League Division 1 Season 2 and the fourth round of the championship, which takes us to the streets of the Baku City Circuit. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box is the fantastic, the Mr. 100% and the man of the hour. It's the lovely Mr. James here. James, how are you tonight?
These introductions are getting more and more ridiculous as we go on, but I'm doing well, Kieran. How's yourself?
I'm very well, and of course we're here for the fourth round in Azerbaijan for the Azerbaijani Grand Prix, first hosted in 2016. Just over 6 kilometres of goodness, James. How good is this track for racing?
It is a really good track, and it's a really good track to commentate on as well. We've got a real good mix of drivers here as well so far tonight. Hopefully there'll be more from attendance. There's only 11 here currently, but hopefully we'll get to see a really good race out on track.
Absolutely, and of course to take you through our top three, last time at the Spanish Grand Prix, Medium Pilot added another win to his tally, his second win of the season. Lemon got his first podium, his best finish in TT Masters League of all time in second place. Recon, by the way, in third place, and what a Spanish Grand Prix it turned out to be there, James.
Yeah, really good Spanish Grand Prix. Recon, I believe, came from 14th on the grid up to 3rd, which was a really good performance from him. Obviously, Medium Pilot extending that championship lead as well, but Baku is a totally different circuit compared to Spain. The old meets the new, and hopefully we'll get to see some great action.
Yes, of course, as we have a look and take you through the standings right now, at least the top 10 for the drivers. Medium Pilot leads the way, though, on 76 points. M-Short is in second place on 56, with Perpetuum in third. And you can see there, Varkey, with a great result last time out, he boosts himself up to fourth. Lemon also moving well up the table. He's joined fifth with Carlsbury on 36 points. Amadi, Quicksilver, Coutinho and Shapalele rounding out the top 10 for the drivers. In terms of the constructors, well, it's very close at the top. Mercedes leading the way by 76 points, and that's no coincidence. That's how good Medium Pilot has been, without a teammate even scoring a point on the board. Red Bull in second place with McLaren in third, not far behind. Ferrari having a much better crack at the season than they have in real life. Renault rooted at the bottom, only team so far that have not reached into the double figures of points, but it's a very, very close field all around as we head towards Azerbaijan.
Yeah, really close field, really close on the constructor standings, as Kieran just alluded to. Mercedes leading on 76 points, Red Bull second, 67, McLaren third, 66, but by my calculations, it's 46 points separating the top 9 constructors out here coming into track tonight. And yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting one, I think.
It will indeed. And James, we have a brand new feature, so why don't you take us through it?
We do have a brand new feature indeed. So, without further ado, let me take you through on a hot lap of the Azerbaijani circuit. And the driver in question that we're going to be taking us through is TTG Nathan. He is, of course, taking us on board for the Baku City Circuit. 8 races to his name, 75 points in total, 0 wins, 0 podiums. He'll be hoping to try and reclaim that in Division 2 on Thursday, of course, where he races here. Let's take you then for a lap here in Baku as we race down towards Turn 1. Out of 20 corners out on track, the Mercedes turns in beautifully through Turn 1, and then on the run up towards Turn 2. These 90-degree left-handers really can cause a little bit of a concertina in the race, so it's going to be fascinating. That opens up the second DRS zone out on track, running down towards Turn 3, and Nathan will be hoping to try and, as I say, deliver some great racing out on track in Division 2. Through Turn 3, looking very nice, getting very close to the wall there on the right-hand side, and then through Turn 4, this is where the new part of the city is. We start to go into the old part of the city through the next couple of turns. Then through turns 5 and 6, left to right, and then running down towards the formidable castle section at turn 7, and then 8, and then 9. He now comes through turn 7 out on track. One of the longest laps, I think it's the second longest lap out on track. He now comes through the castle section through 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Count them up as you go along. Up at the top of the highest point of the track through turn 12, and then down towards turn 13, where Grosjean, of course, famously spun it underneath the safety car a couple of years ago, then through 14, and then through 15. This is a very tricky corner to get right at the best of time, just snapping over the curve there, that back end, and now running down towards turn 16 and run adjacent towards the waterfront, just to the right-hand side of the track, as he now comes through 16, 17, and then fly through the S's flat out through turns 18, 19 and 20. And I'm sure we will get on board with a lap very shortly indeed. Qualifying is just about to begin, but Nathan running then down towards the line, and a very good lap time here from the Mercedes man. And that's that.
Well, that is that. And I taking you around the circuit there, it is so close. It is so close to the walls, and you have to be perfect with that lap time there. And of course, we're counting down into the circuit. We're counting down into qualifying. So without further ado, let's get proceedings started. Let's get started with the Azerbaijani Grand Prix. Welcome then to the streets of Baku here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here for TT Masters League, the fourth running of the championship here in Division Number 1. And it's a circuit that's seen plenty of debris in its time. First running as the European Grand Prix in 2016, being renamed the Azerbaijani Grand Prix from 2017 onwards. There's been a safety car every time we've come here in real life. Will real life imitate art, I wonder, as we head towards these narrow streets of Baku? It's the second longest calendar on the circuit, I should say. 6.003 kilometres, 20 corners for the drivers to deal with, and of course 2 activation zones, 2 detection points as well. Bit of undulation going through Sector 2 just towards the start of Sector 3, but a relatively flat circuit all the way around. But with the flat circuit comes the absolute narrowness of the circuit, mainly being that castle section, turns 8 and 9. I have to say, James, that's one of the toughest circuits that the drivers are going to have to face this season. And I would say the castle section is one of the toughest corners.
It is one of the toughest corners. And that castle section, if you put 1 foot wrong through on this track anywhere, I think, you're pretty much going to end up either invalidating your lap, or you're going to end up possibly totally out of qualifying and maybe even totally out of the race as well. We have got the first drivers just leaving the pit lane out on track. 6 kilometres, of course, in length this track. There are 3 DRS zones, 1 down that long start-finish straight, 1 down towards turn 3. And actually, I've miscounted because there's only 2 DRS zones.
There are only 2 DRS zones. Yes, second longest circuit on the calendar. I had to think about that one. I really did to make sure I said it right. But I did say it right. I did. I promise. But yes, we're riding on board with Varki. Just to take you through, once again, this castle section. This is going to be a hugely important circuit, or a hugely important corner. It is so narrow going through there. Barely enough for 1 car's width. So you're really not going to have any time going side by side through there. And I have to say, looking at Varki here, he's had a pretty good, decent start to the season. Now finds himself up the top of the order now, into the top 10.
Yeah, up into the top 10. Varki really doing a good job out on track. Of course, the Austrian currently in 4th position. He's 39 points to his name so far. Carlsbury switched Lemon after a very good result in Spain, but just in behind him, chomping at the bit on 36 points, but all the way down to 10th in the standings as well, separated by just 9 points out on track. And Varki and Kieran is going to take us through a lap.
Well, I guess we are. We've already seen 1 lap, but of course, let's ride on board with Varki as he now makes his way down towards turn 1. You've got an age to think about this first turn, indeed, as you try and turn in there. Of course, try and get the car turned in. It's very easy to overcommit through the exit of the corner. Now going in towards turn 2. Nice and under control there. Watch out for the wheel spin. This is what's going to catch out a lot of the drivers setting up the car to go down the straights, but of course you've still got plenty of corners to deal with, and that's going to all be in the camber of the tyres. They're in towards turn 3. Bit of a lock up there, just about got the car slowed down. Now heading in towards turn 4, getting nice up close and personal with the wall, giving it a kiss on the way past as we now make our way in towards turns 5 and 6. Again, a little bit of a lock up there on the front left, but those curbs on the right hand side there are very aggressive as you head through turn 6. Short run then down towards turn 7 as you then turn the car in. You can take that curb with a bit of oomph there, but you've got to be careful because it can bite back if you're not careful. Now going in towards turns 8, turn 9, turn 10, and then through turn 11. Turn 10 is going to be a real stickler for the car to understeer. Now you've got to make sure you get perfect on the exit there. Perfect amount of wheel spin there from Varki. Up a gear early there, maybe to try and get the traction through those rear tyres. They do take a huge load through that second part of the lap. Now heading down the hill then towards the final part of the circuit. Last braking point on the track, and really it's a corner you don't want to overcommit. It does camber just midway through the corner, so you can try and recover any speed going through. But now it's flat out here, especially on a low fuel load on soft tyres, all the way now through 18, 19, then on towards turn 20. And you have all the time in the world to think about what you're going to do down this straight. Keep the steering wheel as straight as you possibly can down the start for this straight. And that is going to be a 1:39.2 from Vaki. We are expecting quicker times to be posted, possibly even into the 1:38s, maybe even into the 1:37s if we're lucky. And just saying that, 1:37.4 from Perpetuum, so now begs the question of a 36, but great lap there from the AlphaTauri driver.
Yeah, caught him halfway on his lap. A really good lap there from a 37.4. Expect the 36s here. Maybe for medium pilot, I'm thinking. And he's coming in towards turn 7. Currently out on track as well. But there's other guys out on track with a bit of note. I think Coutinho's coming up towards the line as well.
Well, Coutinho may be coming up towards the line as he's looking to try and go into the pit lane after that invalidation of a lap. We have got an Alfa Romeo on a flying lap. I think this is Killer Blue, who now makes his way towards that start-finish line, puts it into second place. 37.9 then from Killer Blue. Gets himself up the order and a really good final sector there. And that final sector is going to be crucial. That final braking zone, just as you head in towards the third sector, is so crucial. Not much the entry into the corner, but the exit. You really have to prioritise that exit, because you've then got the entirety of that long curved straight, as I like to call it, as you head through 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You count them up on your fingers as you go all the way through. That is, of course, if you have 20 fingers. But we're looking at a track here that really does prioritise the high speeds of these straights. But when it comes to the corners, James, there doesn't seem to be many aero-heavy corners. This seems like a corner and a track where you need the mechanical grip.
Yeah, you do need the mechanical grip, and you do need a very balanced setup, I think, as well. Both that takes in the corners and both that takes in the straights as well. Cosby crossed the line there with a 39.1 out on track. Should expect some improvements. Medium pilot, by the way, 142.9. He was on a set of medium compound tyres, and it didn't look like he pushed at all on that lap. So expect big improvements as we're a third of the way through qualifying.
Armadi now making his way in through the second sector now as he makes his way down to the short run towards this tight right-hander. This is where you come to the narrowest part of the track. You've got to keep it nice and tidy in towards that castle section, really playing it fine with the walls there, but that's how you have to treat it. You have to flirt with those barriers all the way through and just try and make friends as you go through that section. Now heading through that fast left-hander down towards the braking zone here. Leo getting over to the left-hand side. Now this part here, just as you come towards that government official looking building, the track actually dips down. So you've got your initial braking point, but then the track goes down away from you and is at your disadvantage, so you have to brake earlier than you realise going into towards that corner. But it's the perfect corner to go trail braking in, so you can try and get the car steered in towards the apex of the corner. Imadi now making his way down that long start finish straight. Now DRS will be wide open, and as you can see, the Haas driver keeping that steering wheel as straight as possible in order to build up as much speed as possible. Imadi 38.2 puts himself onto the second row of the grid in fourth.
Yeah, and he just went ahead of medium pilot there as well, 38.3 on a set of mediums. So medium pilot, the difference between the mediums and the softs is something like 1.5 seconds, I think, nearly around this track. So expect medium pilot a 36.8 theoretically. I'm above a Coutinho who's just about to start a lap out on track as well. He can come back to me, but I'll follow him.
Well, Venom's also on a flying lap then as he now makes his way through that tricky section. Now, again, that short run down towards turn 7 it's going to catch a lot of drivers out here, because you do need to be committed through turn 7, but you need to be even more committed through turns 8, 9, 10 and 11. I mean, we've seen in the past that top drivers can get caught out by this. As I'm saying that, James has seen some great action out on track.
Coutinho got so close to the wall through turn 3. I thought, honestly, he was going to lose an end plate through there. But he's still going on a set of medium compounded tyres, and this is not looking half a bad lap, actually.
Venom now making his way through that final braking zone in towards turn 16 as he now makes his way through 17 and then count them up as we go through 18, through 19. A little bit of a twitch on the entrance in towards 18 there, but very well to recover. Now through turn 20 and onwards now towards that start-finish straight as an arrow now. DRS will open wide up, and there you can see the revs building and building up towards the red line as Venom sets 138.371, which is the exact same time as medium pilot Cagino on his way to the line.
Yeah, Cagino hitting the wall coming through turn 15. I think he might have right turn end plate damage now as a result. He's going to be given a little bit of a slipstream. Well, he's not now, because Switch Lemon just gets out of the way. He is on an out lap, I do believe, as well. But Cagino, it's looked a bit scrappy, to be honest. I'd say if he continues this to the line, I wouldn't be surprised if he does come into the pit lane as a result of this. Now he's going to continue on, so Cagino now to the line. And it's a 139.4. He goes ahead of Twitch Lemon, his teammate, who now is on a set of soft compound of tyre. And perfect for Twitch Lemon, because Cagino's just in front of him, his teammate. But as soon as I say that, he's just invalidated.
Well, that's always the way, isn't it? Just try and work hard to get that lap, get that space out on track, and then you invalidate it as literally as soon as you possibly can. Venom just making his way through that castle section. Obviously, he's 5th place now with, I think that was Killer Blue. It was a driver that set a faster lap time than Venom. And it puts him now down onto the 3rd row of the grid, now in 5th place for the Renault driver. And, well, let's talk about Venom here, James. How do you think his season's gone so far? 3 races down, we're into the 4th one.
Yeah, Venom hasn't been doing too bad so far. He was the driver that actually improved there, 138.3 angles, and set the same time as medium pilot. And Venom currently in the standings, he's in 17th position, 8 points for his name, but he can have a better race here tonight with limited attendance as well. I think he could be the one that really excels out on track, and I put him up for the intermediate conditions in Spain, and then look what happened.
Well, yeah, we call that commentator's curse, really. He's had 8 points to his name so far this season, so is that a combination of bad luck, or is there something behind that?
A bit of bad luck and a bit of getting involved in incidents that he shouldn't really be getting involved in as well. Hopefully he'll try and smarten himself up here tonight. I'm above with Papetin, by the way. 113 flat through the middle sector. He is 4/10 up on this lap, and we haven't even reached turn 18 or 19 yet, so this is going to be fascinating. From Varky has just retired as well in the pit lane with 7 minutes to go. Papetin then towards the line, next one on board with him in the AlphaTauri, and he should be going quicker on his personal best lap time. Let's see, coming across the line, and it's a 137 flat. Just lost a little bit of time through that final sector, only 6 or 7 hundredths, but enough not to get a 136.
Vesca across the line, improves by 700ths of a second, gets himself ahead of Legend, but it's only up to 7th for the Ferrari here as he now makes his way through in towards turn 2. Matthias is on an outlap, but we've got medium pilot, championship leader now heading into Azerbaijan. He's going to start his flying lap, and we're expecting a quick lap from the German here.
We are expecting a quick lap from the German, and just to reiterate the championship standings as well, coming into tonight is right on board with Legend. Medium pilot leads on 76 points, M Short in second, not attending on 56 points, and Papetin in third on 43 points. That's the top 3. You'll see it, that graphic hopefully coming up to the left-hand side. Mr. Simp and Legend yet to score any points, and I'm on board with the Dane, and I'll inform you how he gets on.
Yeah, here comes Legend then in towards turn 7. Nice and tidy through there, and almost leaving a little bit of 11sies out of turn 11. Now going up the hill there. It's so, you've got to be so committed. You can't think about that corner. A little bit sideways on the exit of 10 there. But it's one of those corners you can't really think about. You've just got to go for it.
Yeah, you do have to go for it. He nearly pushed it a little bit too much as well out on track. But he's doing a good job. He's coming in 8th position out on track, and I'm sure you'll keep on following them as well. We
will, as he now makes way in towards that turn 16, final braking point on the track, but he invalidates his lap and spins it out.
Oh.
So Legend there, spinning out there. I think he spun because of the invalidation. A little bit of a frustration spin here, but now these narrow walls really come into play. That's fair enough. I mean, he just about got that underway, but then he went back into the wall, so he's got to get moving, and he does at long last now get himself moving once again, but he's just got to stay well out of the way. There's his teammate coming through, Imad, who is making his way across towards the start-finish line on a flying lap here. 4th place so far from Imad. as he's currently in the championship 7th place, as Medium Pilot 36.8 there, and it's 36.8 that puts him onto pole position. Imadi then 37.7.
Yeah, Venom actually coming out. I'm not sure if he was on an outlap there or if he's just spun out of turn 1 and he used the reset to track feature, but that came right in front of Medium Pilot on a down lap, albeit 36.8 though. He is currently quickest, and now Pepetum has to respond.
He does indeed. Carlsbury across the line, 6th place, 38 flat then from the Ferrari driver, puts him 6th place on the grid. But as you say, that's going to promote Pepetum especially to respond to that one. What we're seeing here, Pepetum meanwhile, 3rd place in the championship, 43 points. Compared to Medium Pilot leading the championship on 76. And of course, if you're unfamiliar with the point scoring system so far, welcome along. And also here it is, 30 points for the race winner, and it cascades down where 19th place scores 1 point and 20th gets nil point whatsoever. Qualifying is also especially important, James, because 2 points go to whoever's on pole position.
Yeah, 2 points go to pole position. Medium Pilot currently filling out that spot. Maybe expect that to change, I'm not sure. 3.5 minutes to go, Medium Pilot on top of Pepetum second, Neo in third. I'm above with Carlsbury at the minute. 400's up coming through turn 13 out on track, then through 14, the Flame Tower's just behind these buildings to the right-hand side, and then through turn 15, and that is into the wall.
Yeah, just overcommitted there going into 15, and he's paid the price there. So unfortunately, he's going to have to now come back to the pit lane, get that front wing changed. He's not got long left to get back out there, really. You want to leave the pit lane with about 2 minutes left on the clock. That guarantees you the track time out there. So it's going to have to be a quick turnaround from the Tifosi-backed team.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine, to be honest. He's came in with about 3 minutes to go, just under 3 minutes to go. It's normally about a 45, 50-second turnaround, but if he's got that damage that he's just picked up through 10-15, it could add valuable seconds, possibly, to him, and he might not bring it out to the pit lane. But Gaginio, I think, is the only one currently who's setting up for a lap, and the German is coming through the final corners now.
Yeah, on towards turn 20 and towards the start-finish line, and will be one of the first to set their final lap time as he makes his way towards that start-finish line, that timing line, to start a brand new lap here on the street circuits here in Baku. And I have to say, he's got turn 1 wrong there. Well, luckily for him, he can back out of this lap and just take it easy for another one. But yeah, that's someone who tried to fully send it into turn 1, and the car said no, absolutely not.
Yeah, just looked like he might have had a little bit of an issue actually going through turn 1, because you didn't see the car actually, or him physically lock up going through turn 1. So I think it's just a commitment overspeed possibly through turn 1, and he's trying to get the car stopped. It's like Ricciardo Verstappen back in 2018. Obviously the other Red Bull wasn't in front of him at the time, but Gaginio, just similarities to that, I think, where you just go for a little bit of a late breaking point and it costs you, and that's what we've just seen there.
Legend, meanwhile, on towards that start-finish straight and towards the start-finish line to start a brand new lap, currently in 10th place in this pole position shootout, if you like. 38.7 here from Legend puts him onto the 5th row of the grid, and I have to say 38.7 is pretty complimentary to what the sort of lap time that Medium Pilot has set, Jones.
Yeah, Medium Pilot, I mean, it's nearly 2 seconds ahead of Legend, who's down there in 10th. But what's important for Legend is getting ahead of Wesker, possibly even putting it amongst Matthias, Venom and Carlsbury for 6th, 7th and 8th. That's where I can see him possibly improving. Hopefully the Dane can do that out on track. And he has had a good run of results so far. I mean, he's down, well, he hasn't had a good run of results, I should say. He's on nil point currently. We're hoping to try and right the wrongs of so far this season here tonight.
Well, he now tackles that castle section, narrowest part on the race calendar, as he now makes his way in through that turn 10. A little bit wayward on the exit there, but he can recover that one. Let's see what the Sector 2 time is like. Try and scrub off the least amount of speed possible through these left-handers, and then down towards turn 15 here, trying to get that curve nice and steady. Now the timing line for Sector 2 comes up, and How's he doing in towards turn 16? 6/10 quicker than his own previous best. So that takes him down to a low 38. That could be enough for 7th place right now. Here we go then through the final sector and through these final S's. That back end did not look very stable, but Legend has managed to gather it up and keep it all together. Checker flag now is out. Qualifying is over, and the drivers will have to finish the lap that they are on. Legend gets his way towards the line, and it's a 38.1, 7th place for the Dane.
Yeah, big improvement coming as well from Twitch Lemon. He's going to be next across the line. It's been a really clean lap so far. He got so close to the wall coming through turn 15. But now Twitch Lemon, he's backed off the lap.
That's strategic.
I don't believe it.
That's strategic. He did not want to start on those tyres. He still be in 13th place, but with a free choice of tyres. Meanwhile, Killer Blue is tackling the S's now, up into 8th gear, and now going through the 20th corner of this street circuit, and that long run towards the line. It seems like it takes ages, especially in qualifying, to set this lap time on the board. What can the Alfa Romeo driver do? Killer Blue can improve, but only into P5. He stays P5, I should say, and stays on that third row of the grid. Kagina, meanwhile, he's gone 9/10 quicker than his own personal best lap time right now. That's going to be enough to get him into around 7th, 8th place, that region, unless he has a fiery third sector, but he backs out of it and qualifies in 10th place. Could that be one that backfires on him? Neo, meanwhile, gets his way towards the line.
Medium pilot goes even quicker, 36.6, and Perpetum back into the pit lane, will not respond. Neo goes third, 37.5, and I'm a D who's 1100 down and invalidated, not going to be improving either.
And Carlsbury now up into 4th place, the Ferrari driver. And now I'm a D gets back into the pit lane. Similar lap time, in fact the same lap time as Killer Blue. But with qualifying over and done with here, Medium Pilot, another 2 points added to his championship tally. That takes him up to 78 points in the season. But another 2 points go the way of the Mercedes man. Medium Pilot takes yet another pole position.
Just so comfortable within qualifying. I think we're honestly seeing a quite dominance here in Baku so far. Medium pilot 36.6. I mean, he's 4/10 ahead nearly of Perpetum in second. And then Perpetum in turn is 5/10 quicker than Neo. Top two in a different league.
Absolutely. Well, there you can see just about the top 10 all qualified on the soft set of tyres. But 2 points so far today go to Medium Pilot. 78 points he now stands as we head in towards the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But there it is then. Just under 4/10 of a second is Medium Pilot's gap to Perpetum. Then it's Neo in 3rd place, the only other driver within a second of Medium Pilot's fantastic time. Carlsbury in 4th with Venom in 5th, I'm a D and Killer Blue 6th and 7th. It's decided though that I'm a D will start ahead of Killer Blue, even though they've set the same lap time. Legend in 8th, Matthias in 9th, Veska is in 10th place, Kagino in 11th, Vaki in 12th with Lemon in 13th. He intentionally backed out of his lap time, with Yaro not setting a lap time on the board. Will start from P14. But what it looked like to me then is that, was it Veska who tried to back out of that lap? Or was it Kagino? It was Kagino, wasn't it? Because he just about qualified in 10th place, and then Veska stole that away from him. So for Kagino, that worked, because he now gets free range of tyre, and 11th place around a circuit like Baku is a real advantage. James, we've got such a high opportunity and a high chance of a safety car that the alternate strategy really could be one to watch.
It could be one to watch. It is dry here, of course, in Baku. And if you're just tuning in, welcome along. We're down to 13 drivers as well. Yoram, I think, had a little bit of a disconnect within the lobby as well. And I'm just hearing, actually, that Twitch Lemon, his controller is broken. So let's see if he gets off the line, first of all. Hopefully it's recovered. Hopefully, whatever the problem is, he's fixed it. But that is breaking news. And I wonder if that's why he might have accredited to backing out his lap as well.
Yeah, that could be the reason why, as we see in the chat there. Lots of penguins from Maze. Welcome along, Maze. Good to have you with us again. Dan in the chat there. Medium Pilot is the qualifying king. He really is. He's been showing some really good and consistent qualifying pace, and is able to convert that into race victories, James.
Has he actually, just for the stat fans out there, has Medium Pilot taken all pole positions so far this season? Because I can't remember anybody else taking one.
No, he seems to be on top every time we go qualifying, doesn't he? And he'll start from the front once again here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. 26 laps await us here on the streets of Baku. Perpetum 2nd place, Neo 3rd, Carlsbury up into 4th place. That's more like it from him. He has been struggling in recent weeks here, James.
Yeah, Cosby has been struggling in recent weeks, but looking at his point total, 5th position, he's only 3 points behind Varkey, and Varkey is starting all the way down there in 12th position as well. Twitch Lemon, his closest championship rival, is also down in 13th position, so Carlsbury is at a big advantage. Around a track like Baku, don't expect the first laps to be quiet. It's going to be quite concertinaed, I think, especially coming through turns 1 and 2. It's going to be fascinating, I think, nonetheless. 26 laps, full blue sky, sunshine, and the flame towers looking brighter than ever.
Absolutely. Top 10 obviously have to start on the tyre they set their fastest lap time in qualifying. Everyone outside of the top 10 can start on a fresh set of tyres, whichever ones that they like. Gugino, Varkey, Levin and Yarum all starting outside of the top 10. We await to see if Yarum has fixed the issue, although it does look like that only 13 cars are out there. I do see an AlphaTauri at the back. That could be Yarum. I think that could be Yarum. It is Yarum. So
he's in AI, as he's ghosted.
So it's ghosted at the moment. So at the moment, it might go down as a DSC for Yarum, and it's such a shame that he's made it to qualifying. He's put all that practice in, and then obviously it might end up being a DNS for Yarum, unfortunately, through no fault of his own. So we'll have to wait and see if he can get that fixed. Maybe even join into the session later on. Let's hope he can. The more drivers we have, the better, of course. But Medium Pilot then making his way on towards that grid once again for the 4th round of this season. Can he make it? Yet another win here in TT Masters League. Of course, TT Masters League, the first visit here, of course, to Baku. So let's see how this will end. Put your predictions in the chat then of your top 3. And of course, James, I have to ask you very, very quickly, your top 3.
I could see where this was going. Medium Pilot for the win, Perpetuum in 2nd, and Killer Blue. I think he might have a good race from 7th into 3rd.
Well, we'll have to see how wrong you are, Mr. Head. Drivers are now lining up onto the grid then for the 4th round of the championship here in TT Masters League Division number 1. We await now the the ghost car of Yarum to now line up onto the grid there. So we'll start the race as a ghost car. Let's hope that he can rejoin into this race later on. We do want to see as many drivers as possible onto this grid. But here we are then on the streets of Baku. Turn up the volume, grab the popcorn and enjoy. It's 5 red lights. We're racing in Baku, and what are the starts like? It's a good start from Medium Pilot, a good start as well from Perpetuum as we make our way down towards turn 1. A great start from Carlsbury. He's now up into 3rd place as we make our way now on towards turn 2. Medium Pilot still leads the way though from Perpetuum, and Carlsbury now moves up into 3rd place, and it looks a little bit hairy in the background there. Cugino falling down the order just slightly there. He's now trying to go 3 wide with Imadi and Twitch Lemon as they now make their way towards turn 3. But at the moment here, Medium Pilot's managing to hang on for now. Neo wants to get that place back from Carlsbury. Can't do it there though. Killer Blue up a position, of course, now up into 6th place as Legend gets a huge tank slapper out. I wonder if there was contact on that front left-hand side. You don't normally see a car get so fishtail happy, especially this early on in the race. However, the order has settled down back into single line formation. Twitch Lemon, meanwhile, is up to 10th place. Great start there from the Red Bull driver as we now head in towards that castle section. Are we going to see any sorts of drama through that castle section, or is everybody going to keep it clean through there? I think everybody's just about kept their front wings clean through this first lap of the race, and we do have to check on Yarum just very quickly. Still a ghost car at this moment in time, so this might go down as a did not start for him.
That was a right side end plate damage. I think that was from Perpetuum, if I'm not mistaken. It is. Perpetuum hits the wall coming through turn 15. Right side end plate damage for the AlphaTauri in 2nd.
Well, that's not going to be good news at all from him. He wanted to be hard, fast and aggressive on this start to try and keep up with Medium Pilot as best as he can with half a front wing on board. That is not going to be easy at all. Imadi, meanwhile, flies past Twitch Lemon there as we head now on towards the start finish straight, and now heading down towards the start line as that is someone falling down the order there. That is Matthias and Carlsbury falling down the order. Only on the standings though, but I can tell you that Carlsbury still is in 3rd place. Matthias still in his position of 6th place right now. But looking through that first lap, relatively clean, and contact kept to a minimum, James.
Yeah, contact kept to a minimum. The only bit of contact that I saw was Venom trying to go around the outside of Legend, and that's why you saw the little bit of contact between them coming through turn 4. and that is why Venom is now ahead. Matthias had a good start as well. Down there in, I don't know what position he's in. He's in 7th position currently out on track. Wesker down to 8th. But Matthias had a really good start. He was actually going 3 wide almost, going down in towards turn 1. And has disposed of both passes really impressively indeed. So Matthias really having a good time of things out there in top. Killer Blue was now just latched onto the back of Carlsbury and Neo.
Yeah. We see the castle section there. It's just very ominous, very perilous section of track, and you can guarantee that if a car crashes there, the safety car will be deployed straight away. No question about that one. We are on lap number 2 at this moment in time. We're not on lap 3 just yet. The graphics getting a little bit ahead of themselves as we make our way through turn 16 for the second time in this race. Medium Pilot still leads the way though. We await to see what those gaps are like, but that gap between Medium Pilot and Perpetuum looks like it's grown a considerable amount. Well, I have to say, the race here at Baku is a true race of attrition. If you keep your nose clean and if you stay out of trouble, you've got a good chance of a good result. Medium Pilot, of course, setting the fast lap of the race here on the second lap of the race. Imad gets past his teammate, now moves up into 9th place, and that looked like a very, very nice instructional move there.
Yeah, that was a gentlemanly overtake, I think, between them both. Imad through on Legend, and he's up into P9, and he is actually looking quick with the 2 Hassas as well out on track. Osprey's getting quite close here to the back of Perpetuum. Is he going to launch it down in towards turn 3? No, he doesn't, and Tafolsi Man will be hoping to try and get past sooner rather than later. He has got to take advantage now of Perpetuum's front wing damage. That right side end plate, it is going to be affecting him across the whole circuit, not in several corners that you would imagine. But Carlsbury, you can see, is already on the back. Gap is 3.3 seconds from Medium Pilot. Medium Pilot must be pulling away about 1.8 seconds now per lap.
Yeah, and it's an astonishing lead that he has now, but that is only helped by the fact that Perpetuum has that front wing damage, and turn 8 with a bit of front wing damage becomes even more perilous. Yes, it can become even more perilous than it already is. It's very, very ominous on the circuit. Venom, meanwhile, is right on the back of Killer Blue. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2, and that looks like it's going to be Varkey who it is. It's at the castle section, but he's managed to keep all 4 wheels on his wagon. Virtual safety car, no doubt, to clear up the debris.
Yeah, no front wing for Varkey. He's crashed going into the castle section. I think it's like Leclerc in qualifying in 2019, to be honest, with that one. And Varkey into the wall. Oh, and he's nearly done a Grosjean. He's out the race, and Varkey under a VSC has crashed, literally at the point where Grosjean spun underneath that safety car back in a couple of years ago, and Varkey is now out of the race, and he's out of the points.
Oh, that's so unfortunate for Varkey there, but cars in, but oh dear, that's not good.
Neil second, Killer Blue in third. I don't know. Carlsbury still leads, Neo in second, but one on board with Twitch Lemon. And Twitch Lemon pit lane as well. And now Wesker's going to try and have a go back at Armady here for 5th position out on track. Armady cuts to the inside line. Wesker around the outside line, and it's John. Fourth, Wesker 5th, Armady in 6th. And you haven't really missed much if you are just tuning into the session. Kieran has managed to join back in, which I'm very glad to report. And hopefully he'll be back up and running with both of our streams. Certainly out on track. M Short just tuned into the comment section as there. Jacob tuned in as well. Pick up the German goat. Great comment. And Marcus Short, M Short of course, go on Nia and Killer. Of course he is supporting the Excel guys out on track as well. Neil leads Killer Blue in 2nd. We're right on board then with Armady, who's still trying to close in on Wesker. Folsey in 5th, Armady in 6th. Twitch Lemon now hooking onto the back of these guys as well. And we should see another round of pit stops, I think, this lap around. Neil does lead from Killer Blue in 2nd. 4/10 of a second. You can see Killer Blue gaining, not using up the overtake mode just up yet. Still not going into the pit lane. And Killer Blue, I think, is going to sail on by down the inside line. He is now through and he's into the lead of the race, and we'll hook on board as well with Gaginio and Medium Pollock. Gaginio to the right hand side, Medium Pollock to the left hand side, and once again, his job done. And Medium Pollock with a round of pit stops, he's now up into 4th. Venom, Armady, Matthias, and Wesker 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, currently out on track. Not looking too bad here at all. Neil fighting well with Killer Blue. They're the only two actually out on a set of soft compound of tyres, which hopefully is going to be going. Hopefully does lead Neil 2nd, Twitch Lemon in 3rd position. Legend is right on the back here with Wesker as well, 10th and 11th. Legend, is he going to go for a dive down the inside? No, Wesker hangs on for P10, and Legend actually gets a tremendous run then down on the inside line, coming through turn 4. Very close to contact, and the Ferrari just about hangs on Legend, gets a track of overseeing now. It puts Armady on fresher contact. No front wing, and a safety car has been deployed out on track, and that means Killer Blue leads, and this is quite beneficial for these guys out in front, because under the safety car, of course, they can pit in, and Killer Blue does lead the way from Neo in 2nd, Twitch Lemon in 3rd. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break away quickly from the action. I'm going to leave the party I'm in, and I'll be back in just a second, so if we can cut to Kieran, that'll be fantastic. Tom, you are tuning in. I'll just leave and see if he is here. Right, there we are. You're back with me.
I am, I think.
Yes, you are.
I am back. Unfortunately, though, my internet's got other ideas. Apparently, it's fine enough for me to be here. It's fine enough for me to be watching this action here. But unfortunately, my camera angles are not very good. So it might just be a stream where it's just your action we're seeing, James. But yeah, full-blown safety car.
Yeah, full-blown safety car. Obviously, Colesbury crashing through the castle section. I'm not sure if he actually got into contact with Venom. I think that was just a case of the cars ghosting inside, and that's where Colesbury, of course, has just picked up that penalty for Medium Polar out on top, Gaginio 2nd and Killer Blue in 3rd. But this, I think, is more beneficial to the guys now. Killer Blue and Neo. 19 laps on a set of hards is going to be quite tough, but I think they can make it. Medium Polar is going to have to pit in again. Gaginio more than certainly will have to as well.
Absolutely. Well, meanwhile, Lemon here, he's on a set of soft tyres, so he's looking to try and be aggressive with his strategy towards the end of this race especially. So to me, that's going to be soft, and then later on in the race to get maybe onto a set of medium tyres, because as you say, it's 20 laps here. 10 laps on a set of softs, yeah, it's going to be nip and tuck there, but you know what, it's not for the one for trying. Lemon's understood that he's got to try something different if he wants a result out of this race.
Oh, it's been a little bit of a collision, I think, under the safety car there as well. And Matthias getting very close to the back of Neo. I'm not sure if they picked up a 5-second penalty as a result of that, but that looked too close for my liking there.
Did look a little close, didn't it? But that's the thing. You've got to make sure you follow that car in front to a T. Otherwise, you run into the back of another car, and eventually, obviously, if you're following the car in front, it's up to you to make sure you don't run into the car in front. That's the rule that we have, and that's the rule in Formula 1, so you've got to be aware. You've got to keep your wits about you, especially under the safety car, and especially around a track like Baku. So Carlsbury Perpetuum still in this race. Safety car was deployed, but we still have the 13 runners, or I should say 12 runners, in this race. Coutinho, meanwhile, into the pits.
Yeah, Coutinho into the pits. Don't blame him, to be honest. He'll go on probably to a set of medium compound of tyres. And, exactly like I say, he goes on to a set of mediums, and we'll come on board with him now. Just running on board with Perpetuum, he's actually losing more time than he is gaining underneath the safety car. But I think it's only because he wants to try and maximise that clean air coming out of the safety car restart, which will happen. Perpetuum is trying to stay 10 car widths behind these guys. That's more than 10 car widths, I think.
Medium pilot, wow. That was very close to the back of the safety car there. It's at 10 car lengths, James, not car widths. If it was car widths, it'd be a bit of a stacked up grid for sure under the safety car. But yes, 10 car lengths from the car in front. But of course, it's a little bit lenient in this one because it does allow you to catch back up if you're under that timer, so that can happen. But yeah, lots of strategies up the field. You got some tyres on, some drivers on old medium tyres, some drivers on fresh medium tyres, some on fresh hards, some on fresh softs. So it's really spiced up the race, this safety car, for sure. But one thing's for sure is Perpetuum is all the way down in 10th place, 3rd place in the championship right now. He'll be looking to try and get up the order as best as he possibly can. And at the moment, because he hasn't caught up to the back of Venom just yet, because he hasn't been within 10 car lengths of the car ahead, he doesn't have to be within 10 car lengths. He just has to keep a respectable pace to try and catch up to the back of that pack as he now makes his way up through the castle section. Carlsbury and Coutinho really bearing down on him, almost giving him that sign to just hurry up and get to that back of the pack. The safety car, if it's going to come in this lap, we'll figure out round about now. Whenever it comes in, it's normally down towards turn 16 as well.
Yeah.
And Vaki obviously leaving the session. He retired early on in this race. As the safety car will now come around turn 16. Moment of truth. Yes, there it is. So safety car is in this lap. Medium pilot is now in control of the pace. So as long as he keeps a consistent pace all the way through, it could be 60 kilometres per hour if he really wants to. As long as it's consistent, he's allowed to keep that pace. And we'll be back under green flag racing on this lap. The safety car has a long, long way to get back to the pit lane. So if you go too early as a driver, you'll get the automatic anchors speared on, and that will cause all sorts of carnage down at the field. But it's all up to the drivers now to make sure that they keep it clean. Now safety car is coming into that pit lane, and Carlsbury gets a collision with Coutinho, gets that 5-second added, and that's medium pilot. He's gone for it now. Of course, there's no overtaking until that start-finish timing line, but Killer Blue has gone right with medium pilot. He's seen that coming. Will he go for a move down the inside? No, he doesn't. Really did want to try it there. Meanwhile, we're going side by side. Matthias and Twitch Lemon going side by side. Now we're going 3 wide with Neo down the middle there. Twitch Lemon just about squeezes his way through, and that could have ended in a sour ending there, but Lemon has got his way through. Meanwhile, further down the field, Veska now into 7th place. Now, I was seeing there Carlsbury getting up the order there. He's right behind Perpetuum now as we make our way through. Coutinho has come back into the pits.
Yeah, Legend very close as well to the back of Matthias. He nearly lost an end plate there coming through. A little bit of a hectic restart. Matthias is right on the back of Neo. But look at Twitch Lemon. He's right on the back now of Killer Blue. And Killer Blue has just been left behind because of medium pilot on that set of mediums. He's really using that to great effect and has only got 1.2 seconds as Venom is now through as well on Armour D. And Armour D's now under pressure from Perpetuum. And this is the worst scenario you can be in if you're Perpetuum.
Absolutely, just really on the back foot right now, having to defend for his life. Meanwhile, Lemon here knew he had to get these soft tyres up and running in this race.
No
He's
way.
now on the back of Killer Blue. Surely not. We're going too wide in towards 14, now towards 15 here, up the inside. Fair play to Lemon. He gave it his all, and he's now up a position. Fair play to Killer Blue as well for giving him that room, and the two of them making it through is great in itself. To have an overtake going through there, well in Twitch Lemon. That's a great move.
Fantastic, and to use a lemon pun, that was quite squeezy to that, to be honest.
Well,
Make of that what you will.
I'm sorry, James. That's terrible. Anyway, Matthias now in the slipstream of Neo, looking to pull to the left-hand side, but of course no DRS yet. And you see, as soon as you pull out of that slipstream, the drag initiates on the car, and you can't quite find it. He's going to go for a move then for a second attempt in towards turn 1, up the inside, but Neo hangs on.
Oh, I'm a D very late on the brakes. Oh, committed itself as well. Matthias as well is still going side by side. He's actually got through on Neo down the inside and towards turn 2. I think Neo is going to have the run with the DRS. He doesn't. Legend is now going to have the run on both of them. Running down towards turn 3, but they're not quite close enough, and nobody in behind close enough either. Twitch Lemon really surprised actually. 1.3 seconds the gap. Medium pilot leading. But Twitch Lemon, I think he would have been eaten into that advantage more than what I would have expected, to be honest.
I think as well, he's got to be careful he doesn't overheat the tyres, especially here at the street circuit of Baku. Of course, it being a street circuit, the circuit takes a bit longer to get to that full rubbered-in phase. So you've got to be careful about that one. That means aggravated tyre wear at the early stages of the race. Coutinho now finally gets his way back into 12th place ahead of Yaram, who did not start this race, unfortunately, due to hardware issues. I think we can call that now. Meanwhile, Venom is on the back of Veska. I'm getting a bit of deja vu here. He's now looking for a move down the inside of 14, but he can't do it because Veska saw that one coming. Down towards 15 we go, and the Renault couldn't find a way past, but right on the back of the Ferrari, now going up the inside in towards turn 16 here. They're going to run side by side now on the exit. The Ferrari gets the better exit, but Venom here, he just has to wait for that detection point, which is just on the entrance in towards turn 20, and he'll have that lovely DRS on the back of Veska. He's already closing in and closing in by a rate of knots as well. Now gets on towards the back of Veska, pulling to that left-hand side. No DRS, that'll be enabled next lap, but they're running side by side now, the Renault and the Ferrari. The Renault's got the inside line here in towards turn 1. Veska tries to go around the outside to try and hold on. They're still going to be side by side as they head up towards turn 2, but Venom gets the better exit out of 1 with those medium tyres and gets himself now up into 7th place. Medium Pilot, though, has been passed by Twitch Lemon, so Lemon now leads the race.
He does lead the race, and that is on account of the soft compound tyres that he is on, and now he can begin to pull away out on track. But what this is going to do, I think, for Twitch Lemon is now bring him possibly into play later on the race. He realises that medium product has got to give, but Twitch Lemon, I think, is expecting another safety car or a VSC or something out on track to really help his cause. Otherwise, I can only see him making second laps on those tyres before he's got a pit.
Yeah, and that's going to be a huge thing, isn't it? With those soft tyres, how long will they actually last? Oh, there's a bit of contact between Perpetuum and I'm a D here, and that is not wise, going side by side through turn 8 there. So Perpetuum had to give up that position and has to stay behind I'm a D for another couple of corners. But yeah, just got into the back of I'm a D there. Nothing intentional, of course, but meant that he could not try and move down the inside in towards 8. Why would you, is my simple question. Maybe just to put off the Haas driver rather than attempt to make a move.
Yeah, medium pilot still within 0.6 of a second on Twitch Lemon, and Twitch Lemon actually has got less ERS to play. Medium pilot, I feel, is going to come and have a go at him down in towards turn 1. You can see him just pulling to the left-hand side. He'll dive in if he wants to get into the slipstream to get the move done. He'll dive in now down in towards turn 1, but you can see he feathers off the throttle and backs out, and now he will remain in second position as Perpetuum and Armadillo now go side by side, and Cosby's got a sensational run on both of them. Cosby now down the inside on Armadillo, and in the space of one corner, Armadillo has just lost 2 positions, forced out wide with Carlsbury on the inside line. That's racing though. Carlsbury's through and he's up into 10. Yeah, took advantage of that opportunity and didn't think about it twice, did he, Carlsbury? Now up into 10th place in this race. Lap 12 of this Grand Prix, and it's had a little bit of everything right now. Virtual safety car, a safety car. We've had a couple of crashes, but Lemon leads the way on those soft tyres. Medium Pilot in second place. Killer Blue rounding out the top 3. Venom right on the back of Legend for this battle for 6th place. Yeah, Matthias as well getting quite close to the back of Killer Blue. This is before And Matthias has really attributed himself really well into the race. He might have been driving in another League of Europe Formula 2 before this, but really doing a fantastic job out on track. And Killer Blue in third. Matthias is going to push him all the way through the castle section. 0.5 of a second. I honestly think this could be one of the tastiest battles you'll see all night.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll have to keep an eye as well on the rest of the field because there's battles happening left, right and centre. Wherever you look, there's 2 sets of cameras out there, myself and James's. But we're bound to miss that third battle. We need more cameras, more cameras. Pepetta, meanwhile, it's right on the back of Vesco as they now make their way down towards turn 60, braking hard now. Last braking point on the circuit. As you can see here, Pepetta will just be trying to prioritise his exit and, of course, wait for that detection point. We've also got Venom on the back of Legend. We'll jump on board on my camera anyway. Venom looking for the right-hand side opportunity then with that little bit of DRS as well on the run down towards turn 1, and he's got that move done as they're well before that braking zone. How about behind them, James?
Petham's having a go at Wesker down in towards turn 1, and he's going to be sailing through down the inside line. Really doesn't give Wesker any sort of room. The two Falsies are now backing onto each other as Petham is moving up into 8th. We'll take this from Carberry's point of view. Imadee's just latching onto the back of this as well, and Wesker gets a really poor run out and now has to make up all the ground down turn towards turn 3. I don't think Wesker's going to be close enough to have a go down towards turn 3. That's exactly why Petham just moved across into the middle of the track and remains in P8. Good move that though.
Yeah, and he saw that move coming, didn't he, Pepetta, from Veska. Managed to just cover off the inside line enough to discourage the Austrian from having a go down the inside into 3. Matthias, meanwhile, on the back of Killer Blue. I have to say, what a start it's been for Killer Blue. He seems to be in the right place at the right time at every single opportunity. And right now, James, he's running in third.
He is running in third position, and to think of it this way, he's a reserve within the championship, but I think this is only his third race of the season so far. Of course, that dodgy Ethernet port is not coming back to bite him out on track, but what could be beginning to bite him is Matthias right on the back of him, and Matthias in fourth, really hammering away at Killer Blue. Medium Pilot has just lost a little bit of time to switch Lemon as well, but I'm sure we'll get further battles up and down the field. Two to Falsies look like they're going to be quite close as well.
They do indeed. I'm just on board with them right now. We're on board with Carlsbury as he now makes his way through 17, through 18, through 19. This could be an opportunity for 3 wide down the start-finish straight, with Veska being the unfortunate mercenary in this one. Carlsbury now with that bit of a slipstream down the start-finish straight.
Gets the move done down the inside. Sorry, couldn't keep him, but Matthias is through down the inside. Killer Blue's going to have a comeback and him really late on the brakes and dives it down the inside. Turns a negative into a positive, and he's through and he's up into P3, but Matthias is not done with yet. He's going to try and fight back, but he didn't get the best run out of turn 2, and that is Killer Blue's position. Really good battle though, and this could go on for laps and laps. Look at Neo in behind, he's gaining as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good move from Carlsbury into turn 1. Meanwhile, Veska is on the defensive now from Imadee in towards turn 3. And Veska there got a full force of that Haas up the inside. Now down to 11th place. Imadee now moves up into 10th place. And I'm sure hopefully we can get some replays for you back, especially for that move in towards turn 1 there, because Carlsbury just made it look easy. Nice and controlled in towards turn 1, and enough there. Oh, that's Matthias there. Clipping the wall twice. Once at the top of the hill and the other just out of the entrance of Castle. So Matthias really pushing hard and really feeling the full force of that wall. Doesn't look like there's any damage. It looks like he's got away with that scot-free. A very, very lucky Mercedes.
Yeah, Matthias really struggling though. He's dropped 1.5 seconds now off the back, and in fact Neo is through. And has he got damage, I wonder? If it's not visible to me anyways if he's got damage. It might be that left side end plate where he might have some damage. Medium Pilot, by the way, is right on the back of Twitch Lemon. Twitch Lemon's tyres are gone, and here comes Medium Pilot then for the race. See, I think Lemon's going to come into the pit lane, to be honest. And now, actually, he stays out, but Medium Pilot is through and he's into the lead. Let's go on board with Venom as well, side by side with Matthias, and Matthias must have damage because he's into the pits.
Yep. Unfortunate there. There's something not quite right with Matthias there, is he? He knows that, and he's come back into the pits now. So let's see what happens. Let's see what tyres he goes on to as well. Lemon then falls down to second place. Medium Pilot takes back the lead of this race. with Lemon. We're expecting him to come into the pits at some point in this race to put on a new set of tyres. Matthias then goes on to a set of hard tyres because that's probably the only fresh tyres he has left in this topsy-turvy race. He's got to put on the hard tyres for the last 12 laps of this race to get himself to the end. So he probably doesn't have another set of medium tyres to get him there. So he's going to struggle for pace at the tail end of this race. Meanwhile, battle for fourth is well and truly developed. Neo, Venom and Legend. Battle for fourth place. Neo's on the hard tyres. Venom and Legend both on the medium tyres. All drivers looking to get to the end of this race.
Yeah, all drivers looking to get into the end of this race. Neo looks like he's stabilising that gap as well to Killer Blue. Both of them, of course, if this was EML, they would be in the same team because Killer Blue, of course, is part of Excel, so is Neo, and Venom is right on the back. And I said Venom might have a good race here tonight, and look where he is. He's in 5th position. By the way, I just thought I'd mention as well, but you could ignore Perpetual. Oh, and Neo gets caught in the curve, nearly half spins it through turn 15. Venom is right on the back of him. But I was just going to allude to the fact that I've got 2 out of the top 3 correct so far.
Well, so far in this race, we've seen plenty of action so far. We're not going to see any less action than we've already seen, that is for sure. Venom, meanwhile, on the back of Neo, then down the start-finish straight. Neo knows he has to drive the widest racing point Azerbaijan has ever seen. Lemon is into the pit lane. Meanwhile, Neo goes down the left-hand side, which becomes the inside for turn 1. He won't need the inside for turn 1. He's got that DRS and gets the move done. And the Renault moves ahead of Neo in towards turn 1. Now that becomes a podium place with Lemon into the pit lane. He goes on to a set of medium tyres. He's got 11 laps now to get the most out of those tyres. He doesn't have to worry about the tyre wear. He can just go for hot lap after hot lap after hot lap.
And he's came out in the most perfect position you could have as well. Clear air in front of him, clear air relatively behind him as well. 1.2 seconds to Wesker coming out the pit lane. And Twitch Lemon, we've got 4 seconds to gain on I'm a D. But expect some of the guys on mediums, expect medium Pilot and Legend, I think, certainly, to come in on a set of mediums around here. The tyre wear is quite high. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a few pit stops being made. All of those on the hard will run. It's now essentially a race of a difference because it's a race of what's the best strategy. 1 stop, softs to hards, or 2 stops, softs to mediums.
Well,
find out.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Strap in because you're going to find out right now over the next 11 laps, 10 and a bit if you are picky. Neo, meanwhile, is right on the back of Venom, heading now down in towards turn 15. And, well, you see there, Neo, you see Venom, you see Legend really take liberties with that turn 15 curve. They are showing it no mercy whatsoever. They must be running the softest suspension known to man.
Wesker and Caginio's having a good battle as well down in towards turn 15. Wesker just overcuts it slightly. Caginio nearly runs into the back of him. He was going that quick. He's on fresher tyres, but Wesker should surely have the tyre wear advantage over. He doesn't at the minute. I'll keep on board with this as Neo closes in on Venom.
Yeah, Neo moving to that right-hand side. In fact, Venom comes into the pit lane then, so that's enough of his tyres. He's going to come in and put on a fresh set of tyres. That probably will be the set of soft tyres as he makes his way in towards the pit lane.
Oh. And Caginio's just absolutely breezed past Wesker, not even using any overtake mode. He got to him pretty much before the DRS zone. Caginio was through and he's up into 9th position. And the Red Bull's going quite well now out on track, but I feel like Caginio will have to come back into the pit lane. Venom, by the way, is back out, and he's back out behind Matthias, which is very interesting indeed, because Matthias, I think, was behind him out on track. The Mercedes has undercut him.
Well, it's Venom had to come in. He changed his front wing, so he's now back on a used set of medium tyres because he's already got a lap against them. So he's already used these medium tyres, possibly in qualifying. So he'll now have to go to the end of the race on these. He'll easily do it, but he has rejoined behind Matthias in 12th place and last of the runners right now.
Currently in 12th position, Matthias having 11th as well. Wesker's still staying onto the back of Caginio, but what I'm going to look into now is Twitch Lemon. 2 seconds the gap behind on I'm a D, and he's really beginning to gain. The gap to medium Pilot, it's about a 20-second pit stop, I think, around here, maybe even less than that. It's 17.6 seconds currently, so medium Pilot, I think, will have to come into the pit lane some point to put on a set of soft compounded tyres, and Twitch Lemon will inherit the lead of the race at some point.
Well, he's down in 8th place. Of course, Killer Blue, you've got Neo, you've got Perpetuum, you've got Carlsberry, you've got Imad, who are all looking to get to the end of this race on those hard tyres. Venom, meanwhile, picks up a 3-second time penalty for a huge excursion over that turn 15 curb. The stewards in the game have had enough of that for sure. Venom now right into the slipstream of Matthias as he now makes his way down that start-finish straight, looking up the inside of turn 20. He wants it done now because he knows he's got that DRS activation point. Throws open the rear wing and he'll easily get that 11th place whilst the Mercedes of Matthias tries to hang on to that slipstream down towards turn 1.
And they inherit 9th position as well because Gini and Wesker are into the pit lane. Difference in the strategy. I think Wesker's got a bit of front wing damage. He gets a front wing change. He's on a set of soft compounded tyres. Coutinho also getting, I think, a front wing change, and he's also coming into the pit for a set of softs. Both of them are released, and both of them released in pretty much the same position. Joran, by the way, saying he had a power cut there, so it wasn't a hardware issue or anything like that. He just simply had a power cut, and that's why he shouldn't go into lockdown.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge shame. Carlsberry has front wing damage. That would explain why he's off the pace here. He's now making his way in towards that castle section. Oh, that was close from Imad there. And obviously Carlsberry having to take that section at a reduced speed. And that is, Imad is off again at the top of the hill. And that's surely got to be some sort of damage to that car. But he looks like he's carrying on. He might have got away with it, you know what? And he's crashed out of this race entirely now. Imad out on the run down towards turn 15. And that's going to bring out the safety car.
Right side end plate damage, but surely he could have been enough to continue. He would have been in the top 10 if he continued on. If he even came into the pit lane, he would have been ahead of Wesker and Coutinho quite easily. I don't really see the point in doing that, but what it does do is it spices up the race out on track, and what it does do for the guys ahead, they all can pit on a set of soft compound of tyres. A medium pilot, do you know how I said Twitch Lemon might be out in front of the race? It'll be quite close actually. Twitch Lemon across the line, medium pilot coming out of the pit lane. I mean, Battle who's going to be leading under the pits, and it's Twitch Lemon who gets out in front.
That's going to be important then for Twitch Lemon to have that track position in these late stages. So the safety car will pick up the Red Bull as the race leader, the medium pilot in 2nd place, but he's on the soft tyres. And the strategy now comes in, James, where you don't want to be the lead car on the run towards the start-finish line on the final lap, because that DRS is so powerful. It's almost like you want to be in 2nd on the final lap.
It is almost that, and obviously with medium pilot going onto a set of softs, a fresh set of softs, I may reiterate that as well, Lemon has got a significant disadvantage behind him because the majority of the guys, apart from Carlsberry who's gone on a set of mediums, everyone else is on a set of soft compound of tyre. My prediction might just go down the drain.
Well, do you know what? With 2 safety cars, James, it's easy to see why it would be thrown away down the drain. But, yeah, medium pilot, Killer Blue, Neo, Legend, Perpetuum, Venom, Matthias, Wesker and Coutinho all on the soft tyres. Medium pilot, obviously the leader of the ones that stopped. The only one that didn't stop was Twitch Lemon. He's out in front in the lead, 2-lap-old medium tyres. Carlsberry pitted in, and he's the only one that's rejoined this race on a set of those medium tyres. So he might find himself a little bit vulnerable towards the end of this race, especially with so many soft tyre runners behind him at this moment in time. But, well, penny for Lemon's thoughts here, James.
He'd be thinking that the safety car will probably come in this lap, but I don't think it will because Matthias is off the back, Wesker and Coutinho yet to catch back up, and Joran's AI car, don't forget as well. So the Lemon will have to go on another lap in this set of under the safety car, and what he's got to be thinking is he should have pitted last lap around, because honestly, he's on a set of medium compounded tyres. 8 laps on a set of softs is going to be quite difficult, but he should have pitted last lap around. He would have had a bit of an advantage, I think, as well. But you can see he's just pounding the back of the virtual monitor, saying, "Go quicker, go quicker."
Which is what we've seen so far this season from one certain Brit in a Mercedes, that's for sure. But Lemon does lead the way. I think he's got to try something different. If he pits in on a set of soft tyres, he'll never know if he could have held on to the lead of the race. He's going to have to drive at the widest Red Bull that Baku has ever seen. And he's only got the championship leader behind him, one of the quickest drivers on this grid. No pressure then for Lemon.
No pressure for Lemon, but obviously these set of softs behind are going to be ticking over. They're only going to be losing about 4 or 5% tyre wear per lap. underneath the safety car rather than going like 5-6% per lap. If the safety car wasn't out, we can see Lemon is just hounding the back. He wants to get this race back underway and defend. The 3 Ds for Lemon.
Well, the 3 Ds from James Head. I mean, there you go. Need I say more? I mean, who else would you want to coach you other than Mr. Head himself? But we have 7 laps to go, 6 and a bit if you're picky, so we should have 6 laps of green flag racing to get us to the checker flags. 2nd full safety car of the race, 3rd full course caution. We did have that virtual safety car early on in the race, but it is Lemon who leads the way, and these will feel like the longest 6 laps that this Red Bull has ever had to face in his career. Medium Pilot 2nd place, Killer Blue 3rd, Neo 4th, with Legend in 5th, and Perpetum having to hold up there because Perpetum and Carlsbury...
He's trying to let him back through. He was trying to let him back through. Carlsbury lost the position. Perpetum was trying to let him back through, and I believe he's just picked up a 5-second grid penalty out on track. And Carlsbury ran into the back of him, and he's also picked up a 5-second penalty as well.
Yeah, this is why you have to stay behind the car ahead. It needs to be done, especially under safety car. But meanwhile, speaking of that safety car, making his way now down towards turn 15, we'll see these safety car lights should switch off on that exit of turn 15, and it should hand the pace over to Lemon. They don't switch off, so we're going for another lap under the safety car.
Yeah, I think it's waiting for Yoram's AI to get onto the back, and to be honest, we could be all night with Yoram's AI trying to get onto the back of the safety car. This safety car might be out until the last lap, possibly.
Well,
but Lemon... Go on.
I was going to say, well, let's hope not.
Let's hope not indeed, goodness me. But Lemon is out there, and he'd be hoping at this point, this safety car to come in, because he has got to try and find something out of somewhere. It's going to be 5 laps of full, hard racing out on track. The mediums towards the end will begin to get quicker. He has got to defend like his life depends on it, honestly. Medium Pilot in 2nd, Killer Blue 3rd. He's probably got, arguably, one of the 3 of the 4 quickest drivers on the grid behind him out on track. And that's excluding Perpetum, who's down in 6th. And Perpetum can make white work of Legend. Don't be surprised if you see a real change-up in the order towards the end of the race. I can report, though, Yoram's AI has now got onto the back of the safety car queue.
Hey! So we could go racing then on this lap. Just to take you through, this is, of course, a provisional top 3 if it were to finish now. Medium Pilot would still be leading the championship. In fact, he'd extend his lead in the championship and be the first driver into treble figures on 103. Twitch Lemon would be up to 2nd place in the standings on 66, and Perpetum would still be in 3rd. So he'd gain 1 position but then lose another. So he'd stay in 3rd place in the championship, 57 points. But that is, of course, if it were to finish right now. We still have 5 laps of green flag racing to go.
It won't finish as it is right now, to be honest. And that top 3 that Tom has rightfully done, I think he'll be changing that in probably about 20 minutes' time.
But probably about 20 seconds' time, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, Lemon underneath the safety car. He's still trying to hound the back of the safety car out on track. Kagino was just dropping off the back as well, trying to maintain that clear air. He's down in 11th position. He'd be hoping for a good restart out on track. But this could go one of 2 ways. This could be the defensive driver of a life from Twitch Lemon, or this could be everyone on a set of soft compound of tyres going past him, and Lemon ends up in about 8th position by the end.
There's only one way to find out and see what happens, and that's to get this race underway. Hopefully the Virtual Bird Mylander will turn off the lights. He does, so we're racing on this lap then. So Lemon takes control of the pace here, and of course if it's a consistent pace, it's absolutely fine. The surroundings here at Baku are nothing short but spectacular. As James said, old meets new, and this track really does spice up these races, and it does really give us an opportunity to really set these cars alight. You can see there that Medium Pilot is really slowing up the pack here, so I'm not sure here, but Twitch Lemon will get an opportunity to go for it, and he has gone now, and Medium Pilot is a long way back. Here come the Armada then, down towards the start-finish straight. What's going on with Medium Pilot? He finds himself 2 seconds back. We're going to go side by side. Legend trying a move up the inside of Neo in towards turn 1. It's going to be tied into 1 here with that's Venom who's around at turn 1. He manages to right himself going all the way through, but meanwhile further behind, Carlsbury is struggling for grip. He's on those medium tyres and he's struggling now. Perpetuum going side by side with Legend on the run up towards turn number 3. Let's get a camera angle where we can see 2 cars going side by side in towards turn 3 there. That's Perpetuum and Legend battling it out, trying to get the move done there. Meanwhile, Perpetuum tries to find a way back through turn 4. Can't quite find it there. They're still side by side on the run up towards turn 5 there. They're trying to go through 6 side by side. Eventually they're going to run out of track. Meanwhile then, Perpetuum gets the move done. Eventually Carlsbury trying to hang on there. It's 3 wide heading into 7. That's not going to work, guys. In through they go, and there is contact. The car's around. Carlsbury finds himself around there, and the Mercedes of Matthias gets front wing damage as well. That was never, ever going to work there through 7.
Whoever thought 3 wide going through turn 7 was going to work, you've just seen it right there. It doesn't. And Wesker has also picked up damage, I think, as a result of that contact. And I think, actually, he might be trying to wait up for Carlsbury and let him back through, because he tried to launch it down the inside. Medium Pilot, I think, from that safety car restart's really giving him a good advantage now to have a go at Lemon. He was prioritising the clean air out on track, and now he's going to have a go down in towards turn 1. You can see Lemon is trying to get heat into the tyres, weaving down the straight. You need to look behind him rather than in front.
He does indeed. As you can see, their Medium Pilot backs out of it right now, heading down towards turn 1. DRS will not be online until lap 24, and even then, it's not going to be effective until turn 3, or on the run towards turn 3, I should say. Venom, meanwhile, gets away past Matthias. Matthias, with that front wing damage, he's just going to try and limp it to the end of the race. He's only got 4 laps to go. Vesker, meanwhile, retires in the pit lane, so we'll be seeing no more from the Ferrari in this race. Watch out, though, for Killer Blue, who's right on the back of Medium Pilot, ready to pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong. Carlsbury as well, the latest driver to retire in the pit lane. So a double DNF for Ferrari. When there were points on the board for both driver and team, they'll get absolutely nothing from this race. Twitch Lemon leads though with 4 laps to go, 3 and a bit if you're picky. Medium Pilot second, with Killer Blue rounding up the top 3. Neo, Perpetuum, Legend, Coutinho, Venom, Matthias round off the last of the runners.
Yeah, Lemon's doing a good job out on track. He's really defending well from Medium Pilot, and he's just trying to exploit Medium Pilot, a weakness at parts of the track where Twitch Lemon might be good at, and that's why Lemon is just keeping that gap at 0.4 of a second currently. They've got Killer Blue, they've got Neil, they've got Perpetuum latching onto the back of this as well. Do you know what? My top 3 is not looking half bad now, to be honest, because Perpetuum has latched onto the back, and he's arguably, I think, looking quicker than the guys ahead. So Perpetuum might have some say about this later on in the race, but Lemon guns it through the final couple of corners. He has got to use that overtake mode as if his life depends on it.
Yeah, but look how much ERS that Medium Pilot has also saved up here. As long as he can keep in that slipstream, as long as he can keep a second behind, and as long as he can keep a good amount of battery behind him, he will be in great order there to try and find a move. DRS is now online and will be online for the last 3 laps of this race. The top 5 are separated by less than 2 seconds out on track. Fantastic to see. Legend, though, is falling away from the order, but he will be happy with 6th place nonetheless. Neo will get a chance to try and get a part way past Killer Blue. No, they both have DRS, so it kind of negates any sort of move, attempted move, I should say. Medium Pilot, though, I think he's going to play the waiting game. He knows that being first place on the final lap and having 2nd place within a second of you is not a good idea. I think he'll hold out. I think he'll hold out and weather this storm and try and get Twitch Lemon on the final lap of this race.
Yeah, I think, honestly, it could come down to what we saw in TTL F2 a couple of seasons ago. It was Blizzard and Toxic in the closest finish I've probably ever commentated on. We might see that again in terms of Twitch Lemon and Medium Pilot. But Medium Pilot does not want to lead, as Kieran says, onto the final lap of the race, because you're just going to be negating that advantage. But what is going to work in Lemon's favour is the tyres, because those tyres will get quicker than Medium Pilot. I think, honestly, Medium Pilot's got to get the move done now rather than later.
Well, Let's see what he does then as we make our way on through the S section once again and on towards that start-finish straight. You'll see now Medium Pilot absolutely close in at a rate of knots. Let's see what happens. Overtake is online as well. But there you go. He closes that DRS. Mode 1. Is he going to still try and move? He is, you know. He's going to try and move down the inside in towards turn 1. Medium Pilot up the inside he goes. Does he take this race lead? Yes, he does.
No!
Oh, contact!
It's like Skittles in behind. Perpetum just got too late on the brakes. He spun both Killer Blue and Legend, and I can't believe what I've just seen. That honestly was the Skittle effect out on track. If you watch that back, honestly, Twitch Lemon's going to have a comeback though. And Medium Pilot down the inside and towards turn 3. Can he get the move done? They both make contact. The Medium Pilot hangs on.
Yeah, just about keeping it out of each other, keeping it out of trouble as well. Neo, meanwhile, 8th place now, right behind Venom. But yeah, James, we'll have to talk us through that. What happened there through turn 1, I should say. We saw the end of it from my angle, but from Perpetum's point of view, he's now up to 3rd.
Yeah, honestly, Perpetum might have not been the one that called all of that. It was Killer Blue, I think, just in front of him, who came across going through...
That's Twitch Lemon in the wall! Through the castle section! He's lost his entire front wing. It is all happening now in these final few laps. And Twitch Lemon with a chance of a podium, a chance of a victory. It's all gone now. No front wing on that car. He's just trying to get it back to the end now. Legend, just hold back. Wait for Twitch Lemon to just understeer at a perfect opportunity. He has to pit in. He'll surely have to pit in. Legend just has to be patient here. Will he try and move? He'll try and move up into 15. He can't hang around though because Coutinho's now right on his tail as we now make our way through the S section. He's surely not going to try and move up in towards 19 and then through 20. It's all a little bit carnage there, and now with the Red Bulls around and Venom is collected. It's all happening on the final few laps of this race. It's like it's all gone to pot. Killer Blue, meanwhile, who was just out of the podium last time out, now finds herself back on it. What is going on?
Down the inside goes Legend as well on Twitch Lemon. Gets the move done. He's throwing up into P4. But Lemon is trying to hang on with that front wing damage. Out on track, he's somehow trying to keep going. I think Killer Blue also picked up left side end plate damage in that as well. Chaos, carnage here in Baku. Medium Pilot leads. Perpetum 2nd, Killer Blue in 3rd, and Legend could still be on for a podium in his first point of the season.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I'll tell you what, Medium Pilot has kept his head through all of that and is now on his way to try and take yet another victory here in TT Masters League. He kept him honest throughout the final couple of laps as Twitch Lemon tried to interrupt the party, if you like, but no dice here for the German in the Mercedes.
Yeah, Neo gets the move done on Twitch Lemon down in towards turn 6 of all places. He's through. Obviously, with that throwing damage, it was easy as you like. Neo through and he's up into 5th. Legend still holding back on Killer Blue. I'm getting sense of deja vu. This could be a photo finish, you know.
Well, Medium Pilot here is making his way around the final braking point. What will be his 2nd race win of the season. Countless poles. He got his first win at the Spanish Grand Prix last time out. He'll now make his way towards the start-finish line. It takes an age to get there, but the Mercedes driver is going to extend his lead at the top of the championship. Medium Pilot will take his 2nd race win of the season, extend his lead at the top, and win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Go on. Legend is trying to close up on Killer Blue. He's got no ERS left. He's got to try and strain every sinew, and it's going to be a photo finish. Killer Blue hangs on for 2nd in the end. Neo gets a podium out of all that as well.
Stunning. It's not often you're lost for words when a race like that comes together. Neo gets 3rd place, Perpetum 4th, Legend 5th, with Lemon eventually recovering to finish in 6th place, but what a race it could have been. Venom in 7th place, Matthias across the line in 8th place, with Coutinho not finishing the race under his own power. Medium Pilot, his 2nd race win of the season, and I tell you what, that's a nice amount of points he's got coming his way. I think the sympathy vote is out there for the virtual fans. They've given Lemon Driver of the Day. Well, they do say it is a race of attrition. As long as you keep out of trouble, you've got a great chance of a good result. And that is exactly what Medium Pilot will be thinking. He takes his 2nd race win of the season and extends his lead at the top of the table.
He does extend his lead indeed. A fantastic race here in Baku. One filled of chaos, carnage and quite consistent driving, I've got to say, in the early part of the race as well. The safety cars really just spiced things up. Sadly, went the wrong way, and hopefully the driving standards will improve for next week. But, Kieran, take us through the result.
The official, unofficial results then for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix round number 4 of TT Masters League. It is Medium Pilot who gets his second race win of the season. Killer Blue onto the podium. A great result for the Brit in the Alfa Romeo. Neo in 3rd place. Papetum 4th with Legend in 5th. Twitch Lemon from 13th to 6th. Still not a bad day at the office. Venom in 7th with Matthias in 8th, grabbing that final fastest lap point. Coutinho in 9th and Yarum obviously didn't start this race, finishing in 10th place. Coutinho didn't finish the race under his own power, therefore his points will not be counted. And of course, what that means is that Medium Pilot does not get the full 33 points, but he still gets a really nice 32. I think he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, 32 points is better than none at the end of the day, and he extends his championship lead, of course, out on track. I am going to try my best to try and get the top 3 in, but my search is not loading at the minute.
Oh, that's not great, is it? It's all gone wrong. I do think that there is something happening in terms of invites and parties. I'll attest to that. I will attest to that. But James, chaotic. Can you think of another word you can describe that race, especially the final few laps?
Carnage.
That's probably a better word. Yeah, that was probably a better word. But I tell you what, Medium Pilot, once again, kept his head, kept his cool. Second race win of the season. That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all, and it's gonna seem in good stead as well for next week as we go to France. The French Grand Prix next week, of course, at the Circuit Paul Ricard. The many different track layouts. We are on the one, of course, that is the Grand Prix layout, not the 20 gazillion track layouts that track has.
I have to correct you there. It's a 20 gazillion and 1 layouts at the track. So, unfortunately, James, you're wrong with that one. However, what that does mean is that Medium Pilot extends his lead at the top of the standings. Now the first driver, I believe, into treble figures for the season.
Yeah, which is fantastic. And, of course, Medium Pilot, we talk about it in qualifying where he was very consistent, very, very good in terms of the racing out on track and, of course, picking up those points for him as well. Just now working through the invites for the guys. Hopefully we can get an interview or 2 in before we end off.
Yes, let's hope so, because we've got the French Grand Prix coming up next, which, of course, if you've seen the outside and the circuit limits of that track, you'll know it's a little bit of an eyesore, or at least it can be, with those bits of tarmac around the track to try and slow the cars down with the pure friction of the fiberglass, I believe it is, that's in and embedded in the tarmac in order to try and create that force of friction to slow the cars down. So essentially like a gravel trap, except there's so much less of a chance of actually the car rolling over, which is the whole hindrance of a gravel trap. Yes, it's fine, have a gravel trap, but don't have a gravel trap at the highest speed part of the track, because you're just asking for trouble there. But James, French Grand Prix next, who do you see coming out on top there?
Oh, it's like me trying to predict the result of the 2022 FIFA World Cup, to be honest.
Do it. Take a stab at it. Who's going to know?
Medium Pilot, I think he's just going to be too consistent for next week. France is built for a track like him to dominate on, and I think we will see that. We should see plenty of overtaking as well out on track, and hopefully we get to see a better ending to the race as what we did tonight. But I have added everyone into the group. Hopefully we can get an interview or 2 before we end off.
Yes, we let's hope so. Anyway, we've got a chance, hopefully, to speak to some drivers. Obviously, we'll take you through the rest of the calendar whilst we're here. Of course, we're at the French Grand Prix next time out. It will be the British Grand Prix the week afterwards, and of course, all the times now will be Greenwich Mean Time. It started off as British Summertime, now becomes Greenwich Mean Time for the British Grand Prix, and then of course the Belgian Grand Prix on the 1st of December. What a way to start Advent with a race like that. Singapore then for round 8, Japan for round 9, Mexico round 10, and then the season finishes on the 12th of January at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Got to say, James, not a bad calendar at all.
Not a bad calendar at all, and you're forgetting one important detail as well. It's my birthday week, the time we go to Britain.
Oh, how about that? Oh, that would be nice. Well, let's give James a spectacle and a show for sure on his birthday week. It's the least we can do. It is the least we can do. You'll have seen from the calendar as well that we do have a little bit of a break at Christmas. I know, a break in a TT Masters League. Oh, I don't know about that. But yes, from the 15th of December then to the 5th of January, the drivers will have a Christmas break, which is unheard of. No, it's not actually unheard of. It's a very regular occurrence. But yeah, it's just a weird thing. TT Masters League is built on that. There's very few breaks during the season, so the racing is pretty much non-stop. So what are we going to do with ourselves for the 3 weeks that we've got off, James? It doesn't make sense.
Fatten ourselves up and have a Christmas dinner, I think.
You know what? That's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? Why did I not think of that? I think we're going to get blanked, unfortunately, James. But
nah.
I think.
Terrible.
Yeah. Well. Oh well. It's entirely up to the drivers if they want to join in. So that's absolutely fine. So all that means is, James, is that we should probably hype up the French Grand Prix as much as we can. So tune in next week for the French Grand Prix. How was that?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Of course, Circuit Paul Ricard, the 15 turns that they will wait the drivers out on track. And remember, if you haven't driven France before, the pit lane's changed.
Yes, it has. That's true. Pit lane's much earlier now and doesn't just stem off from the start-finish straight. It now stems off from the anti-penultimate corner there. So drivers have got to watch out for that one. But hopefully you will join us for the French Grand Prix, and there'll be one happy driver out there in Medium Pilot who extends his lead at the top of the championship. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching and stay safe in this crazy world out there. Until next time, I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been James Head.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.